Good morning. Welcome to Pop Culture Review presents the Daily Download for Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. Can you believe we're already at the second day of this new year? I hope your restful January 1st was great. Mine was pretty good. Didn't really do much, but it's quiet in the world of pop culture also. I did go see Bumblebee last night, and I gotta tell you, I think it was my favorite of the Transformers movies. It's a prequel. If you haven't heard anything about it, it's a prequel to the already existing like Michael Bay movies. I was happy someone took the explosives out of Michael Bay's hands for this one. It let the movie really be more about the action, not the action, about the story versus the action. There were some great fight scenes in it, but it wasn't, 2 hours of explosions, Michael Bay style. He's still credited as a producer, but he was not the director on this one. So yeah, and Haley Steinfeld as Bumblebee's human counterpart is great. Love her. Um, Anyone who knows me knows that she is my favorite gif from her Pitch Perfect days. Her doing her cowboy whoop it up gif is my favorite. So yeah, Bumblebee, go give it a view. I liked it better than Aquaman, which Aquaman again exactly what you think Aquaman is going to be, just kind of dumb fun. In the end, really inconsequential. Fine standalone movie, good origin story, um, which I like. I like movies that world build and give us mythology and give us backstory, which Aquaman spends a lot of time doing. It was definitely trying to be DC's like Black Panther. I think it ended up being more like an equivalent to like Ant-Man, which, again, fine movie, fun. Momoa and Amber Heard have great chemistry. She's beautiful. He's, a hunky man for all the ladies. I guess some guys too. But wasn't changing the world. Didn't have a whole lot of message. It was just a good movie. It was just a fun superhero movie. Whereas Black Panther was a great film that happened to be a superhero movie, Aquaman is a good superhero movie. I don't have a lot for you today, unfortunately. There's not a whole lot on. We are out of festivities. We are officially out of holiday season celebration. So there's really no holiday viewing. There's no New Year's Day programming. There's no more Christmas Charlie Browns. We're out of that until Valentine's Day now. What do I have for you though? The season 2 premiere of Gordon Ramsay's Hell on Wheels. This time he's going to New Orleans for his season premiere. I like Gordon Ramsay. He's not for everyone. If you like Gordon Ramsay, then you watch all of his shows. I like listening to him call people, stupid fucking donkeys. I think that is just the best. I don't watch a lot of reality shows. There will be virtually no sports recommendations here ever, and there will be very few reality show recommendations from me because I just don't. There's too much good TV right now. You'll hear the phrase "we are in peak TV." Um, so there is too much good drama out there really right now for me to be spending time watching things like reality shows or sports ball. I don't recommend sports shows or sports events, mainly because people who watch sports know they're on already, and people who don't watch sports aren't going to be like, oh, I'm going to watch this baseball game or this football game when I otherwise don't ever watch sports. So I don't really recommend that stuff because my recommending it or not recommending it is not going to persuade you to want to see it or not. So you got Gordon Ramsay at 8. That's really about the only thing of new stuff that's on that's worth watching. At 9, my top pick of the night is Vikings. This is a great show, History Channel show. If you've never watched it before, it follows I think they are like 10th century Vikings, based loosely on real Vikings that existed when they began to branch out of their fjords and kind of creep around Europe, uh, beginning with, when they first landed in England, when they eventually went to France. Great story, great writing. If you like fighting scenes and bloodshed and war, It's a nice spin on the kind of war show, military show that is on TV now. They are in the back end of their 5th season, I believe. Yeah, so Vikings is still a go-to for me, especially in a time of the year like this when there's really no other original programming on. That's going to have my vote. After that, there's brand new SEAL Team. That's the only other original scripted drama that's on tonight besides Vikings is SEAL Team, also at 9 o'clock. I'm a Vikings guy. I know some people out there like SEAL Team. SEAL Team to me just never clicked as a great ensemble show. Premiered last year at the same time as The Brave, same time as that CW show. What was it called? Valor. For me, The Brave was the height of good military drama. A team working together with original, fresh stories, good arcs, good character arcs, good character development, and good stories. SEAL Team has fine stories, and I think they try to do the military jargon well. For me, it never clicked as an ensemble show because it's clearly just a vehicle for David Boreanaz. It's, David Boreanaz above the line, and then all the other people on that show. For me, the Brave was a true ensemble show. You could remove Mike Vogel, who was the kind of lead on the Brave as Dalton. You could have removed him and the Brave could have continued. You could have removed Anne Heche and the Brave could have continued. If you remove David Boreanaz from SEAL Team can't continue. And there for me is the fatal flaw. A show that has to rely so much on one person is not really an ensemble show, no matter how many people you throw in it. So I'm not a SEAL Team guy. I think it's fine. It's my third choice between after Vikings. And what do I have? I have something. The Masked Singer. This is a fun new show on NBC. Basically, celebrities dress up in ridiculous costumes and sing, and then a panel of celebrities have to try and guess their real identities. Again, this is not a show that I'm going to watch with any kind of fervor, but if I'm looking for something silly and just kind of eating some popcorn, mind-numbing, it's the show I'm going to watch tonight. So The Masked Singer, this is its series premiere tonight. NBC's been running a bunch of commercials. You can find them online. Give it a go. Might be fun to worth watching. 10 o'clock, there's really nothing on at all. I think I went with American Masters tonight, a PBS special. Yeah, PBS actually does a lot of great specials, which people don't really promote ever. They, throughout the week, have a lot of good specials on music, a lot of music, art, archaeology type things. And then you have the whole nature side, which delves into animals. Tonight is just an hour special about a guy named Watson, who was a pioneer in kind of discovering and really delving into the idea of DNA. And ended up winning a Pulitzer Prize with 3 other guys or 3 other people. I don't know that they were all guys for his work. So that's kind of the nerdy history thing to watch at 10 o'clock. Other than that, I think I have some ID channel, Murder Channel, and Nat Geo suggestions. You can get my full list of top 3 shows for each hour every day on PopCultureReview.com. I post my what to watch. If it doesn't publish at midnight, then it publishes sometime in the morning time, depending on if I got to it the day before or not. So that's that. News-wise, not too much news last night. Dick Clark's Rocking Eve, hosted by Ryan Seacrest, whipped up the competition on the ratings, winning all of the New Year's shows from New Year's Eve on Monday night. That came out yesterday. They faced more competition than they had in past years because NBC had taken a couple years off, I think, of running their New Year's kind of festival show. But then they were back this week. They were back with Carson Daly and Chrissy Teigen hosting their New Year's Eve show. So that cut into ABC's share a little bit. But as overall, people definitely preferred Ryan Seacrest and his band, who's Jenny McCarthy, preferred their brand of New Year's celebrations versus everyone else. Let's see. I had a couple other news items before we get going here. Stranger Things finally has a premiere date. This actually came out on New Year's Eve. It will be back on July 4th. The season 3 premiere. And what else did I have? Yeah. So Stranger Things will premiere on Stranger Things season 3 will premiere on Netflix on July 4th, 2019. If you watch the Game Awards, the Duffer Brothers actually revealed that they're actually working on a 16-bit, that's Super Nintendo era video games for you video game followers out there, or casual video game followers out there. They actually revealed at the Game Awards that they're working on a 16-bit style video game for Stranger Things season 3. So keep an eye on that too, as a little tie-in for the season to come out in this July too. So you can get chock full of Stranger Things. Definitely catch up on those seasons if you haven't already. A couple more news items, and then we're going to get out of here. We did that. Oh, last one worth talking about. I don't know if anyone watches the show on Netflix. There is a show called The Patriot or Patriot Act with Hassan Minhaj. This story comes from Deadline. Calls a case of life imitating art. Netflix has removed an episode of Patriot Act with Hassan Minhaj from streaming in Saudi Arabia after that country's government complained that it showed the kingdom in a negative light. The episode focused on Saudi Arabia in the wake of journalist Jamal Khashoggi's killing inside the Saudi consulate in Turkey. Among the topics host Hassan Minhaj touched on were referring to Silicon Valley, quote unquote, swimming in Saudi cash, and criticizing of young Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and his kingdom-backed war in Yemen. Now would be a good time to reassess our relationship with Saudi Arabia, the Patriot Act host said in the polled episode, and I mean that as a Muslim, as an American. It goes on that under Saudi law, you cannot criticize the crown or their religion or a bunch of other things. And Netflix's official statement was that it always complies with the laws of the land in which it airs. And so though they respect the freedom of expression, they also respect local laws. And so they pulled the episode because it was the request to pull the episode by Saudi Arabia was made in conjunction with an actual law on Saudi Arabia's books. Interesting. I haven't watched Patriot Act, but it's an interesting time to live in where we hear about this kind of censorship. It's still shocking, I think, to Americans that this goes on around the world. It's even more interesting that you even hear about this, that the show is allowed to air at all. The article went on to say that the episode actually did not get pulled from YouTube. So if you were in Saudi Arabia and you still wanted to see it, you could find it on YouTube, which is interesting to me. I know other countries like North Korea, China, and Russia, there is still a lot of strict censorship on the internet. So it's interesting that this is coming to light now with Saudi Arabia and Netflix's stance on it. I don't know. I mean, the good thing is that this story will probably give Hassan a bump in ratings. But we'll see. We'll see if this becomes a trend. If maybe he does a story on North Korea and doesn't get pulled in North Korea. Anyway. That's it for me today. It is Wednesday. There are no new movies of note coming out today. We have a bunch of releases coming out on Friday, which we'll talk about. Again, not a great TV night. Next week, we'll be back in it with a lot of good new TV coming out. Brooklyn Nine-Nine premieres, Deadly Class is coming out, Magicians is coming out in a couple of weeks. So a lot of good stuff coming out. Oh, The Passage starts, which we're really excited about on social media. If you're not following me on social media, definitely follow me on social media. On Twitter, I am at PopCultureReview. Make sure you like and subscribe this YouTube channel so you get and ring that bell. Click the bell on so you get a notice whenever a new episode comes up. And that's it for me today. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. It's hump day, which I never do that joke. But there you go. And that's it for me today. Have a good one. Take care.